I'm scowling.
Dan, why are you so scowly today?
They took away our Judaic periods. I feel oppressed. We've had to learn in secrecy.
It's okay, Dan. All throughout Jewish history, Jews have had to learn in secrecy when it wasn't acceptable to learn. And hey, that's exactly what we did. And we have a Parsha video to show for it.
Welcome to Dan and Ezra Discuss the Parsha. This week it's Parsha Vayikra, and it's all about Korbanot.
Brief overview. The Parsha opens with Hashem talking to Moshe. He tells Moshe the multi-step process of bringing Korbanot on the Mizbeach.
Then they go into great detail of all these types of offerings and how to bring them. The Ola offering, the meal offering, the peace offering, and variants of each.
Then it goes into detail on a bunch of different scenarios that require a Korban to be brought. Unintentional sinning, a Kohen sinning, community sinning.
Hey, it's fun to do it with a friend.
No, a ruler sinning.
Bad ruler.
Breaking oaths, becoming impure, issues where one can't afford a certain offering, a person who doesn't know he sinned and finds out later, lying under oath, refusing to return a lost object, robbery, and a few we've probably missed.
Okay, so the Parsha goes into great detail on these various Korbanot. But why did the Jews even have to bring Korbanot, and what do they mean now that we can't do them today?
We're going to take a brief look at two of our favorite scholars and what they think about the Korbanot.
Not Rashi, not Mr. Byron, but Ramban and Rambam. Rambam has a very interesting view of the Korbanot that Ramban didn't like so much. Rambam says that the Korbanot were a way of weaning us off our idol worship roots.
He talks about how, at that time, the common way to serve any god was to bring sacrifices in a temple full of images. Maimonides says that perhaps the best scenario was that we could simply serve Hashem with all of our hearts.
But at the time, that would have been realistically impossible for the Jews to do, because the only way they knew to serve a god was bringing sacrifices. So this was a way for Hashem to forge a realistic path for the Jews to serve him. Keep serving sacrifices, but only to Hashem, and in a positive manner.
Ramban really disagrees. He calls these statements preposterous, and that is a shallow answer, an easy way out. He says that giving these sacrifices would enhance their idolatristic views, and he says that there are verses in the Torah that show that the Korbanot serve their own purpose.
Ramban's explanation of the Korbanot is that the offering represents the person giving it. On behalf of me, who sinned, this animal shall die, and Hashem is merciful enough to accept this offering instead of my own blood. He also says that Korbanot are filled with hidden mysteries, and you have to know Kabbalah to access them.
The dispute lives on, and all sorts of commentaries have weighed in over the centuries. But either way you look at it, the Korbanot do have meaning.
To us, the Korbanot are all about action. When you do something wrong, it's not enough to think, oh, I did something wrong, and then move on with your day. The Korbanot teach us that thoughts must be coupled with actions, like bringing the Korbanot.
Even though we can't bring Korbanot today, the Teshuvah process is super involved, and you really have to work to repent.
The action of bringing the Korbanot brought the Jews closer to Hashem. Today we have other actions that can stand in and help us connect. Davening, learning, tzedakah, and all sorts of positive mitzvot.
Sometimes it's hard to see the relevancy, especially in things like Korbanot. But there's all sorts of interesting ideas that are practical, and that we can learn from. You just gotta open the commentaries and put in some effort.
Or have Rabbi E teach them to you. Thanks for watching.
Shabbat Shalom.